The October 3rd, 2016 City of Vandalia Council meeting will now come to order. We will have a moment of reflection followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Would you please stand for the pledge? And would you please remove your hats? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, you have before you the council study session minutes of September the 19th and also the council meeting minutes of September the 19th. Are there any corrections or revisions to be made? Seeing none, they'll stand as approved. We have no communication petitions or awards this evening, nor do we have any public hearings, and that brings us to comments from interested citizens. And if there's anyone in the audience who would like to make comment to council, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address for our records, and then your comments.
Holly Wiggins, 660 Castle Creek Drive. I'm here representing Dayton Power and Light, and just want to give the community a little bit of information. DP&L maintains the safety and reliability of our electric systems along 2,000 miles of overhead transmission lines by routinely inspecting the condition of those lines by helicopter. In order to cover the entire overhead electric transmission system, the inspection will be performed in a series. The initial set of inspections will cover 200 miles and are scheduled over a 2-week period beginning October the 4th. The helicopter will fly close to power lines and hover for short periods of time, conducting a thorough assessment. The residents should not see any interruptions in electric service as a result of this work. If necessary, improvements to maintain the reliability will consist primarily of repairing the electric wires and structural equipment that's in need of repairs. These will be performed at a later date. DP&L is committed to providing safe and reliable energy for generations to come. We just wanted residents to be alerted so no one would be concerned. This is inspection of just transmission lines, not the distribution lines over homes and buildings. If you have any questions, please feel free to call our customer service, which is 800-433-8500. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Is there anyone else who would like to make comment?
Hi, Jamie Spencer, 7848 Brown School Road.
Diane Seacott, 7848 Brown School Road.
We're addressing bullets straying from the Miami Valley shooting range directly to our east. We have at least 5 incidents of bullets coming over into our property or flying over our property. Lack of supervision, I think, needs to be addressed at the range. I guess I'm not sure if there's a time stip on range firing, but it's 10 p.m. I have kids that go to school, and it's loud. I know there was a sound study done some years ago. This certainly was not done at our residence. Resolution, I guess, is really what you look for. I think that there should be supervised shooting in the outdoor and indoor range. I think that I've been 5 times, and I've been pointed the direction of the shooting range with no supervision. I think that, especially since it's aimed at a residential area, I think there's real concern for the city. The elevation, as you'll see, you guys will look, the range is lower than us, so the bullets, the chance of hitting us, slim to none, unless it reflects off of my trees. I would say our trees, our woods are probably catching, I don't know what percentage, half, maybe more, but they're landing somewhere. And we have a sworn affidavit signed and notarized of the times and incidents. I know there have been modifications to the range. 3 of these bullets have been post-moderation to the range. There's no supervision. Anybody can sign in, walk down, and fire any type of caliber, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I've seen no concern about size, no one watching. People are walking down and shooting nonstop without supervision. And, as far as the noise goes, separate issue, I know, but it's from when you have kids in school at 10 p.m. And 10:15 and earlier than the hours, we purchased the property knowing that the range existed. No question there. The range hours showed 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So, never dreamt that there would be shooting at 10 p.m. of large caliber weapons in the dark. So, there's a whole lot that's happened in between. I'll leave this maybe without going into every detail. The shots, if you've never heard a bullet whistle over your head, it's a very distinct sound. There's no mistaking it, and you have to be pretty close to it. So we've been called into question about the validity of the bullets coming over. You would just have to line up and listen. Perhaps at your own risk, but not to blow it completely out of proportion. I think modifications need to be made to the range. I don't see any type of real backstop system. They're using the railroad tracks. I don't. It's obvious that was never modified where they thought the bullet was coming in. Their employee even told me that they had a problem losing bullets. Make no mistake, before he knew who I was. Being the neighbor, that is, I know him personally. I think it's a real concern to the city, and I think it's a matter of time before. I think it's a real liability to Mr. Tackett. I think it's a matter of time before somebody gets hit. So that's our concern.
And, excuse me, I think that you I think that you understand that right now, we as a council cannot really digest or make any
No, I
kind of
know.
suggestion or anything else. But there is something that I'd like for you to do.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is to meet with our city attorney, Jerry
Sure.
McDonald.
Okay.
And he can get all the facts and everything and see what the city can do or not do and go from there. And, of course, he will keep us posted as to where we are with this situation.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Setzer.
Jamie, after your phone call with me and our discussion, I've socialized it with the mayor, our city manager, and several council people, and the issue is safety. And we can work with you and work with Dana and see what can be done.
Okay.
So we will certainly pursue something.
Okay. I appreciate your attention to this matter.
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Setzer.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else?
When would I meet with him?
Oh, excuse me, just a minute.
Sorry. Okay. Very good. Thanks.
Yes?
I just wanted to ask if I heard him correctly, that at that guns range, there's no supervision, there's no ranger there to monitor the activity of anyone
That's
on that
correct.
range?
Well, I've been 5 times, and there's been no range officer whatsoever, any calibers, I've never been addressed, approached, taken out. You're pointed in their direction. Now, I've heard stories of there's never been any range officer the 5 times I've been there, and if several people that I know that go say no range officers whatsoever. That's correct.
I know some of the other local ranges here have range officers just for that specific reason, so I was kind of surprised there's nobody there.
Yeah, and I mean, you keep coming up, but the most important thing is you have people of all different kinds of experience, no experience whatsoever. I mean, not only is it a danger to the people to the west, it's a real danger to themselves and anyone else on the range. So, that being said, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Good evening.
Good evening. Eric Blaine on behalf of Maya Valley Shooting Grounds. My office is at 865 South Dixie here in Vandalia with Wright and Schulte. I'd like to address Mr. Spencer's concerns that he's raised today on behalf of Maya Valley Shooting Grounds. To start off with the most recent question, Councilman Earps, the range does employ 5 full-time certified range officers. So there is not a lack of supervision that they have been able to identify. Additionally, the facility itself has been remodified numerous times based on issues that have come up, and reviews happen regularly. The last review by the NRA was 6 months ago. They were found compliant with NRA guidelines. Additionally, the range does keep an open door policy to address issues and concerns. Their operating hours do exist from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. for the general public. However, as part of his community service, in order to better law enforcement training in this community, Mr. Tackett and Miami Valley Range do provide training facilities for Huber Heights, Trotwood, and Riverside, to name a few, police departments. Those police training agencies do train sometimes at night to make sure officers are qualified for anything that may happen in the evenings, and so that they do shoot in the evenings at that time. However, none of the firearms have ever been reported as missing or have any other issues with them. We would ask to have the council keep an open mind on this. The range has been operating there for decades, and the issues come up with permit direction. They have been addressed, and we continue to review them. We would welcome the opportunity to speak with Mr. Spencer, as well as the city attorney, on any of the issues to correct them if there may be issues. But at the end of the day, keep in mind that the facility has not had any actual evidence presented to it or to this council of the projectiles leaving the property. So,
Okay, thank you.
Good.
thank you.
Thank you. And as I had indicated, Mr. McDonald will be our counsel, and you'll be working through this with both parties, I understand, and then through our city manager, and certainly we will be kept up to date with everything that's going on. So, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Mayor, good morning or good evening, Council. My name is Tracy Baker, and I'm here on behalf of an organization called Toastmasters. We actually meet over at the Vandalia Justice Center, 245 James Bohannon Drive here in Vandalia. And we're the Vandalia Toastmasters, and our purpose is to let people get better speaking skills, communication skills, and things like that. Now, I know this subject isn't as deep as what we've heard before, and I hope I can bring a little levity to the whole crowd, but I'm nervous right now. I actually pushed myself to come out here to speak in front of you, but I never would have thought that I would come out and address a mayor and listen to a bunch of real issues and real problems that people are having in the city of Vandalia without the help of Toastmasters. So on the 18th of October, we're having an open house. I want to put this on public record for the city of Vandalia. Is there a place I can post these flyers, or someone I could post on your website? Because I believe that if Toastmasters can help me, out of all people, Toastmasters can probably help anybody in this room right now. I spent 20 years in the Air Force and the military, and I had to give a lot of briefings and things like that, but I always stutter and all kinds of nervousness. But now that I've gone through this program for the past several years, I think I'm a better speaker than I was, and I think that I can improve by coming to this organization even more. So the reason why I'm here tonight is just spread the word. 18 October, we have a meeting. We meet first, second, and third Tuesdays from 7 o'clock to 8:15 right over here at the Vandalia Justice Center, Community Room 101. If there are any questions, I can take those at this time. If not, please come out and visit us sometimes. And also, madam, I'd like to extend an invitation to you to come to one of our meetings to give a keynote speech, 5 to 10 minutes, about anything of your choosing. I can leave my information with whoever I need to and make sure that we have some communication if you're interested.
Thank you very much. Daryl, do you have this information for the drummer? Okay, he'll do it for the drummer. And where do we have any place that's available just to post?
We'll take a look and see what we have in the building.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just leave a couple flyers with
Yeah,
that gentleman.
that'd be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll continue on with our agenda for the evening with the city manager's report. The information item is Beggars Night.
Thank you, Your Honor. Beggars Night is going to be on Monday, October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. The annual Lions Club Parade is going to be on Tuesday, October 26th. That parade will form at the sports complex near the baseball concession stand at 6 p.m. and will step off at 6:30 p.m. and the parade will conclude in the rec center gymnasium. So October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay. We have no action items nor any old business, so that brings us to our resolutions for the evening, beginning with Resolution 16-R-81. Mr. Mr. McDonald, by title only, please.
Resolution 16R81, a resolution waiving the formal bidding process and authorizing the city manager or his designee to enter into an agreement with Asphalt C Coaters of Dayton for the Helke Park Tennis Court repairs and resurfacing project in the quoted price of $68,244.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, this resolution does authorize a contract with Asphalt Seal Coaters for the repair and painting of courts 1 through 9 at Helke Park. The city and school district recently entered into an amended facility use agreement for the tennis courts at Helke Park, whereby the entities agree to share the cost of repairing and painting those courts. The Vandalia Butler Schools will be utilizing the courts for practices and matches for its boys and girls tennis teams beginning some point next year. As part of this project, the city will pay $37,569 towards the cost of repairs, and the school district will pay $30,675.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I move that we approve Resolution 16R81 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis and second by Councilman Herbst that we do approve Resolution 16-R-81 as presented. Any comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Resolution 16-R-82 by title only, please.
16R82, a resolution waiving the formal bidding process and authorizing the city manager to contract with Garland DBS Inc. of Cleveland, Ohio for the municipal building roof repair project at the price of $18,653, and for the sports complex concession roof replacement project at the price of $25,077, both prices being obtained through the U.S. Communities National Cooperative Purchase Program.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. The 2016 budget does include funds for repairs to the municipal building roof and the replacement of the sports concession complex roof. Building maintenance did work with Garland through the U.S. Communities Government Purchasing Alliance to obtain quotes for the required work. Garland does provide the roofing material through U.S. Communities, and then it obtains quotes from area vendors to supply the labor. Both projects combined are $1,730 over the budget. However, there are sufficient appropriated funds in the CIP to cover this additional cost.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 16R82 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Farr, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve Resolution 16-R-82 as presented. Comments or questions? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Resolution 16-R-83 by title only.
16R83, a resolution amending the fee schedule for the Vandalia Recreation Center.
Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Daily admission fees at the rec center are currently broken down by age rather than resident or non-resident. When the facility first opened, fees were broken down by both age and resident, non-resident status. However, that method was inconvenient for residents and difficult to verify non-resident or resident status by our staff. However, verifying the age of our daily fee members is equally difficult and inconvenient, again, for our staff and our customers. In an effort to recognize the taxes that are paid by our residents to support the rec center and to make the facility more resident and family friendly, the Recreation Department is recommending to revert back to the resident non-resident rates. We're proposing a daily fee of $5 for residents that are 5 years of age and older, and an $8 fee for non-residents 5 years of age and older.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Resolution 16R83 as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Blakesley, second by Councilman Gerhardt, that we do approve Resolution 16-R-83. Comments or questions?
I happen to be on the Parks and Rec Board, and I would comment that the staff did a tremendous job. They thought through a number of different issues in trying to formulate their rates and the reasons for, and I agreed with just about everything they put together, and they did a real fine job, and they should be some accolades should go their way.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I would just like to add, I believe this still keeps us competitive among some of the other centers around.
Anyone else? Do we have will you please, since we had the motion and everything, we have a discussion, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 16-R-84.
16R84, resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. The Montgomery County Budget Commission has approved the city's property tax rate of 4.14 mils for 2017. The city's inside millage of 1.84 mils is comprised of 1.54 mils for the general fund and 0.30 mils for the police pension fund. The city also has voted outside millage of 2.3 mils that is directed to the general fund.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, I move that we approve Resolution 16R84 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilman Ehlers, that we do approve Resolution 16-R-84. Are there any questions?
We only have one comment that the property taxes in Vandalia have not been raised, I think, since 1983. If anyone talks ill of us the way we spend our money, I think that's a pretty good evidence of doing a pretty good job for a number of decades.
I think all of us would agree with you. So, anybody else? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 16-R-85.
16R85, a resolution approving the record plan for Stone Quarry Crossings, Section 14.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Blue Diamond Real Estate Holdings, or Independent Can, is requesting to combine two lots to create one 12.066 acre parcel at 1650 Capstone Way. Blue Diamond recently exercised this option and closed on a 5.54 acre parcel to the south of the Independent Can facility. However, that parcel does not have frontage along a public roadway and must therefore be combined with Blue Diamond's original parcel. The Planning Commission reviewed this plat at a September 13th meeting and recommended approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll move that we approve Resolution 16-R85 as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Herbst, second by Councilwoman Fairst, that we do approve Resolution 16-R-85 as presented. Once again, any comments or questions? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have a few ordinances in their first reading, and that is 16-30. Mr. McDonald?
Ordinance 1630, an ordinance rezoning the property located at 3324 Benchwood Road from Residential Single Family 1, RSF 1, to Gateway Business, GB, and amending the zoning map of the city.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. A rezoning request has been submitted to rezone a 0.996 acre parcel at the northeast part of 3320 Benchwood, again from residential single family to Gateway Business. The purpose of the rezoning is for the development of a full-service restaurant. The Planning Commission reviewed this rezoning request at its September 13th meeting and voted to recommend approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move that we approve ordinance 16-30 on its first reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Ehlers, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve ordinance 16-30 on its first reading. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Gerhard?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Ordinance 16-31. Mr. McDonald?
1631, an ordinance amending certain provisions in Chapter 1482 Property Maintenance Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Vandalia.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. This ordinance incorporates revisions to the city's Housing and Property Maintenance Code that will allow the city to enter private property whose owners have been properly notified and remove any junk, rubbish, or disabled vehicles and bill the owner for such removal. Our current process relies on charges being filed in the municipal court for compliance, which does not always remedy the nuisance or unsanitary conditions of the property.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 16-31, its first reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Blakesley, second by Councilman Gerhardt, that we do approve ordinance 16-31 in its first reading. Comments? I'd just like to thank Mr. McDonald for the work that you did on this. I think that it was greatly needed. So, anybody else? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Faris?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have no ordinances in their second reading, nor do we have any ordinances that would be considered an emergency. So that brings us to the reports of boards and commissions, beginning with a variance request at 200 Foley Drive.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Kathleen Hines is requesting a variance to allow a 6-foot-high wooden privacy fence within Zone A, where 42 inches is the maximum height allowed. The zoning code restricts the height of fences in residential districts to a maximum 42 inches within Zone A, which is the area between the street right-of-way and 15 feet behind the front of the building. The fence in question has already been erected and projects 17 feet into Zone A. The BZA did review this matter at its September 14th meeting and unanimously recommended denial.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, and we were under advisement that we would make motions to approve a variance, and then if we did not want that variance to pass, then we would vote no on it. So I'll make a motion that we approve the variance for 200 Foley Drive in its second reading.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Gerhardt, second by Vice Mayor Lewis, that we approve the variance at 200 Foley Drive. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
And I just advise council, this is a little different from what we normally do, so make sure you know what you're voting
Just
here.
gotta get used to it.
Councilmember Herbst?
No.
Councilmember Ehlers?
No.
Councilmember Blakesley?
No.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
No.
Councilmember Faris?
No.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
No.
Mayor Setzer?
No, and the motion passes 7-0.
It's denied.
Fails.
The motion
Does not
fails.
pass.
You said it.
7 noes.
Failed.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
go back to the old
I was back to the old way. Okay.
I am.
Can I make a
Yeah,
motion
we
to
were
go back to the
advised
old way?
to do it,
Yeah, we need a motion to go back
do
to
it in
the
the
old
positive
way.
rather than the negative, so it gets used to having
Maybe we should talk about that once
Yes,
again,
we
huh?
should.
Okay.
We did it once for him.
It
Yes.
did all right.
Yeah, we did.
We'll get to
We
it.
did it once for you, Mr. McDonald. Okay, going back to our agenda. Council members, you have the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board minutes of May the 25th, the Planning Commission minutes of August the 23rd, and the Planning Commission minutes of September the 13th. Are there any questions about any of those? Seeing none, with that, we'll begin with our council comments, and Mr. McDonald,
Now, that wasn't that hard. You have to admit, it wasn't that hard.
I have to learn.
Did we
Okay.
approve it?
No, I have nothing.
Okay, Mr. Cruzy?
Just one item, Your Honor. I just want to remind council that your budget review meetings have been scheduled. They're Wednesday, October 19th, Thursday, October 20th, and then Tuesday, October 25th. All meetings will take place in the basement of this building and will begin promptly at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Herbst?
I'd like to thank or congratulate the boys Butler golf team. Did I say that right?
Butler boys golf team.
Butler boys golf team for their big win today in the sectional tournament at Yankee Trace. They came in first place, so they'll be moving on to districts next week. So wish them continued success.
Great. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Councilman Ehlers?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Gerhardt?
No comment, Your Honor.
Councilman Blakesley?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilwoman Faris?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
I just have a few things, and that is we had an exceptionally active weekend here in Vandalia, and for those of you who have not seen it yet, there are two things now that the Parks and Recreation have added, and out at the park itself, there's the mountain, right, and some other equipment and instruction, and if you haven't heard about it as of yet, there's something going on here in Vandalia called disc golf, and it's unique, but I liked it because, first of all, it's not expensive, and second of all, anybody can play, and it doesn't take that long, but both of those items. And, of course, our senior citizens had their bazaar, which had very good food if you did not get there. And, of course, our fire department had their open house, and once again, they had the helicopter, which was, always a nice attraction. So anyway, those are the things that I wanted to say. Council, we I'm going to ask for a motion for an executive session so that we can consider the employment, discipline, promotion, or compensation of a public employee, more specifically, matters relating to the performance evaluation of the city manager. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis and second by Councilman Blakesley that we adjourn to executive session. Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Herbst? Yes. Councilmember Ehlers? Yes. Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard?
Yes.
Councilmember Faust?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. For those of you who are interested, we are going to be adjourning to executive session, and afterwards we will reconvene for the purpose of adjourning the regular meeting. So with that, see you later.